Hello, this is going to be a quicker video. I'm going to be going over the deck list I've been using for the current Fusion Festival event, but first I want to show the deck that I've been using for ranked ever since Malice came out. Big changes to the deck. Saronir went to 1, Shrouded went to 3. I'm still playing Magnamut, but he may get cut soon. I'm not sure. It still has like lots of targets and I can still use it on myself. So it's not like bad. Plus, it also makes hands where you start with Bishop Lubellion and Saronir less bad. So you don't garnet yourself as often. And then in the extra deck, I've swapped out Protoplant Dragus Stapelia for Earth Golem Ad Ignister, which is a super poly target intended to hate on Malice themselves. And the deck is otherwise fairly identical to what was displayed. In addition to running like the Chaos Hunters instead of Fuelos, which I also said I would do. You can add Lancia. I haven't yet. I haven't even crafted the card. Haven't felt the need for it yet. Malice is the best deck in the game. I'm not going to like try and say like, oh, Branded's this like sleeper, like it can beat Malice and blah, blah, blah. Malice is in a state where the power level of the deck is so extraordinarily high where it is a tier 0 deck. If it's probably the first proper tier 0 format we've had in a very long time. Like, at least when Fiendsmith came out, it was like, yes, Fiendsmith, the engine had a tier 0 representation, but there wasn't a clear Fiendsmith deck that was just like pulling 40-50% ahead of everybody else in terms of the numbers. But with Malice, the story is very different. Malice is Malice. You play Malice pure, and like you can run a little tiny side engine in it, but like there's no point. All the cards are at 3. Like you have the full extra deck. Like it's unbelievable that it was released in that state. Regardless, this is what the deck looks like now, which I want to make sure you see before we go to the event. I played the event. I played 5 games. I won every game. And I'll show you one replay at the end with the deck I'm using for the event. The deck's undefeated. It went 5 wins, 0 losses. So let's go take a look at that. Real quick before I show you the deck itself, I want to show you the limits we're working with in this event. It's a bad day for Branded. These hits are brutal. So let's just go over them real quick. Maxi is banned, which it's banned in like every event. Wish it was banned for real, but this is where we are. Every Bestial is banned. Every single Bestial is banned. Hold on, wait, let me filter to add forbidden. Yeah, every Bestial is banned. I should say main deck and like the monsters. All the Bestial monsters are banned. So no more Bestial Lubellion, no more Saronir. So like that super sucks. They put Alibur to 1. Which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's still, like I said, pretty brutal. They left Branded opening at 3, so that's, like, fair. Branded Fusion went back down to 1 for this event, and Super Poly got put to 1. And possibly the one I think people don't realize is as big of a hit as it is actually Red Albion, the Fusion Albion original, is from Unlimited to Limited. So this really makes you have to manage this card way more than you normally would. It is tough. It is tough. So let me show you the deck I've been playing and the reasoning for it. Okay, so this is the deck I've been playing for the event. I played it for 4 games. And the first game, I wasn't on the Patchwork engine. I added it after the fact because I thought about it. And that's actually when I discovered Guardian Chimera is limited to 1. So what do we got going on here? So long-standing players of Branded probably recognize the Patchwork engine with Edge Imp Chain, Fright for Patchwork, and Polymerization. Basically, this engine is to try and leverage just raw card advantage, as well as setting up the protection effect for Guardian Chimera, so it can't be messed with. And it's just more reliable in general. The big thing is actually polymerization itself, which is why I wanted this. because what I'm really trying to do here, as you'll see, I'm playing 3 copies of Cartesia, 3 copies of Fusion Deployment, and like, all that good stuff. Because I really want to get Cartesia to resolve, or I want to, if she's like negated with like, let's say Imperm or Valor, and I had like a bad hand and I couldn't like play around it. I want to make Granguinol on my first turn. That is a core part of the setup, and I want to be doing it every game. I want to see Cartesia every game. I want to fuse her away every game, and she is the way that we are going to win in this event. Getting her effects, I should say, as many times as possible is what will get you through this event. Another change in the deck, Retribution's back to 2. Just like when Branded Fusion was at 1, now this goes back to 2. You extra need this because we do not have 2 Red Albion, so you must reset him with either Branded Retribution or you banish him after like Branded Banishment, and then later Shrouded or Quem or what have you can pitch Branded Sword, and then you put him back into the extra deck that way, because when you put a card back into your quote-unquote hand, but it's an extra deck monster, it actually goes back to the extra deck, which is basically your second hand anyway. Otherwise, other changes, Dragostapeli is back in. We are on Ad Libitum. So Dragostapeli is a target for Ad Libitum to fuse with Mirrorjade into, as well as just Dragostapeli is a good card in general. Garura is still in the deck, but it could be cut. I did notice that I was running into the issue where I was literally running out of Albaz fusions to send. So one thing you could do that I haven't done, but if you wanted to, you could go like this. But I haven't done that. The games game singular, because I want this video to be short. The game you're going to see is just the deck I showed you before. But I did notice in 2 of the games I was down to only being able to send Lubellion the Searing Dragon. I still won because I did Mirrorjade like 3 times during that turn. I still won, but it wasn't, as good. Albalonatus is back in the deck because it can get any polymerization or fusion normal spell. Polymerization's a normal, spell. So, anyway, so this is what I was playing in the event. Although I will say Sprind is pretty good. We would keep Super Poly in regardless because it's still just a really good card in the deck in general, because summoning Albaz and then baiting effects and then slamming down Super Poly after the fact, going second, is still really good. Like, that's still extremely good to do, even if you don't have dedicated Super Poly targets. Alright, so that's the deck. Let me show you a game. It was the most interactive game I've had in the event. Real back and forth. So you can actually see what the deck can do when it's not just automatically winning games. Most people concede after. So 3 of my games, people conceded after I did like 2 cards, which is typical. People do that all the time, especially in events. But in one of the other games, I had to do a couple of effects, and then they went, oh, okay, I lose. And then in the last game I played, which was just now, maybe an hour ago, before making this, it was a very long back and forth until, the game was over and I had exhausted them of everything. So I literally interacted with every single thing they did. All right, so let me show you that game, and I'll do a live commentary of it. Real quick, I want to show my opponent's deck. This is full power Sky Striker, or at least relative to the event. I believe nothing's limited for them. It's just literally the entire deck. So this is just like full power. I assume like this might be a mistake, only playing 1 Ray and like 1 Rose or something. Like, I would imagine you would want more than 1 Ray, but what do I know? I don't play Sky Striker. But either way, to me, this looks like full power Sky Striker. They literally have like a Royal Widow Anchor, so they probably pulled a bunch of these. And they have like, the alt art of like Ray and reinforcement of the army. So this is somebody who like actually plays this deck properly, or at least seemingly. All right, so let's get into the game. All right, so here we are in the game. My recording messed up, so I'm going to reload this. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's take a look at my hand, what I got here. I have Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, Forbidden Droplet, Branded White, Branded High Spirits, Branded Banishment. This is a, I would call this an average hand, average level hand. Nothing crazy. I didn't hard open Branded Fusion. I didn't hard open like Fusion Deployment, Cartesia, etc., etc. This Banishment and this Droplet are basically doing nothing except waiting to be set before the end phase. So this is basically a 3-card hand. But it can do a lot. So let's see. I'm going to allow myself to go to main. Shrouded Effect, pitch Retribution, Branded High Spirits. I'm going to pitch this Shrouded. Get rid of Titaniklad. I'm actually going to grab Quem. I pitch Branded Fusion because I want to do the Branded Fusion line. Notably, if they mess with me here, I do have Branded in White to fuse with Guiding Quem, and I can at least still end on something. But I'll go for Branded Fusion. They don't have anything. I make Red Albion, and I'm going to Reborn Cartesia from the graveyard using Quem. In this deck, you really got to be familiar with Cartesia lines and using Cartesia in general to get the most out of it. I'm actually going to make Mirrorjade this way, get rid of this Titaniklad. I already have Quem on the field. Don't need it. Or her, I should say. Cartesia's then going to put this Red Albion into the graveyard for me. Send Granguinal, or make Granguinal, send Ad Libitum. So Ad Libitum does qualify. It's a level 6 or higher dark, light or dark monster. It's a level 8 dark, so it qualifies for this. I'm going to use this Shrouded plus Granguinal, getting Granguinal to the graveyard, making Sanctifier. Set these two and pass. And then off of this, I'm going to get Branded in red. Because I have Ad Libitum in the graveyard. If I did not have Ad Libitum in the graveyard and I had to send something else, I probably would have set Retribution here just to make sure I cycled this back and I'm able to do its effect again. But I'm feeling pretty good with this. And of course, Cartesia comes back to hand just as like hand fodder. So they're going to start with Rhoda. They get Ray. Ray effect. Going to do this instantly to force this to occur. Because I have so many ways to recur Mirrorjade here. Gonna brand it in red now. They let this go. They do have responses here, which you can't see in the replay, but they do have responses. Gonna make Dragostapelia here. And then Ray's gonna summon something. Mirrorjade resolves, and I banish this before it's allowed to do its effect. Which is why Mirrorjade's so good, because it's a non-targeting banish. Granguino is allowed to trigger because of Ray's effect, and Ad Libitum is going to be bringing me Mirrorjade back. So he's refreshed. His soft once per turn is refreshed. I'm not allowed to do the Mirrorjade effect again. Granguino is going to be summoning me Quem. Quem's going to send me Albaz. And then before this is allowed to link off, I'm just going to banish her. They thrust. They get talents. They're going to talents me right away, or talent. It's Tactics talent. They steal my Sanctifier, which is a bit of a bummer, but oh well. I'm actually going to pitch these because I just want to negate both of these. Because what's going to happen is that they're going to be forced to link this off. Which they do. They make Azalea. So, first things first, I'm going to summon Albaz because I had the choice of... Oh, they're going to call by the grave. So let's talk about this real quick. I'm summoning Albaz instead of Mirrorjade here because I want to fuse away with this, make Mirrorjade, and then I have a live Mirrorjade on the field, as well as still having one in the graveyard to get back off of banishment if I want to. They're going to try and hit Albaz I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to Rinbrum anyway. And then I want to preserve this banishment and not use it yet, so I'm going to use Dragostapelia to negate this. And then they're actually going to try and negate and take Dragostapelia. So now I'm like, okay, I have to get rid of this thing. And this getting popped no longer matters. So, going to make Quertus. She'll basically end their turn. Because like they can't kill me here. I'm gonna get so much in the end phase it's not even funny. Alright. I make Mirrorjade and they're like, okay, cool, game's over. And that's that. Okay, so we're back. The deck is good for the event. I won 5 games in a row. I had like 3 non-games where people gave up instantly. The one game I did have, even despite them having like constant answers to what I was doing to them and able to like keep playing because Skystriker is good as a going second deck, so it only makes sense that they can do that. But even with like getting messed with at every turn and even like beating Called by the Grave, I think it's pretty good. So can't complain at all. And like the follow-up for my upcoming turn would have been absolutely insane. The only thing I wish in that game, like I said, was that I had Sprind. Hold on. I wish I had Sprind. So that the Mirrorjade I made at the end there, or even before then, would have just had a better target to send. Because I would have had to send Fusion Lubellion, I believe. I believe that's all I was down to. So this is pretty good. And it fuses with literally anything. So I'm actually, you know what, I'm just going to commit and say for the remainder of the event, I'll play the deck this way. If you don't have oh, come on. Whatever, I guess the servers are being weird. If you don't have Fuelos, you could just cut the card. If you don't have a second copy of Branded Lost, just play the one you do have. Because the reason why I'm playing 2 is because I like opening the card, and it's something to do with Alibur if you do hard open like Branded Fusion or what have you, or like other cards. I did have that matter in one game, getting Branded Lost instead of Branded Fusion. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the deck. I'm sure there's a version of the deck that is marginally better, but this is good enough to win the vast majority of games, so I'm not going to bother labbing out a better version of the deck. It's just, I mean, it works. You know. Oh, also, real quick, I want to show some other bans. So, Gold Sark is banned. Oh, I have to turn this back on. Gold Sark is banned. Nadir Servant is banned. So, don't think about playing these. I'm sure there'll be somebody who commented like, "Oh, why aren't you playing Nadir Servant? Why aren't you playing Gold Sark?" They're banned. You're not allowed to play them. If we look Albaz up, so you can see Nadir's there. So Golgonda's banned, which is like good because that's like a stun strategy thing anyway. We wouldn't play that. Obviously that doesn't count because that's an Xyz card. It's banned no matter what. And like, of course, Expulsion's banned, but that's been banned for like forever. And yeah. So that's where the deck is. Have a good rest of your day. Go ahead and win some games.